So we're going to start by sitting at the end of our roller. Bring yourself right to the end, feet in a parallel position, hip width apart. And you're going to lengthen the arms out in front of you and start to roll through the pelvis. And then come back up. A little bit precarious, we know. So you're turning the wheels of your pelvis. That's it, creating this lovely big long C curve. And then reaching your fingertips forward to restack the spine. And one more time, turning the pelvis, reach the fingertips away from you, rolling the ribs back behind you, and then coming back up. On this next one, as we turn the pelvis, we're going to use our hands to support us and lay ourselves down on the full length of the roller, making sure that the back of your head and the back of your sacrum are resting on the roller, nice and easy, and arms can fall by your side. Then from here we take a little moment to shake and shimmy, making sure that we're comfortable on the roller as the body adjusts to this new position and the new prop. And then we take our focus to our pelvis and we start to rock the pelvis back and forth, belly button and pubic bone, also known sometimes as your 12 and 6 of your pelvic clock. That's it, nice and easy. The ribs can move, the chin might softly tuck and lengthen as the body wriggles and adjusts to the roller bit by bit. You might exhale as you bring your belly button back towards your spine and inhale as you send your pubic bone away from you. And then we allow the pelvis to become quiet. We sweep both fingertips along the floor and up towards the ceiling. Internally rotate the palms to face each other like you're holding a big box. And then send those thumbs back behind you, up above you, overhead towards the floor. They may not find the floor, they might go a little bit wider. And then you're going to carve them, arc them, reach them all the way back through. Let's do 3 more of these arm arcs. Nice energy out of the fingertips. Internally rotate the palms, sending the thumbs back behind you. Keeping the ribs soft. And then carve them, arc them, reach them all the way back through. 2 more here. Nice easy breath, relaxed pelvis, wide spongy ribs, melting over the edge of your roller as your arms arc through the space above you. Last one here, noticing how the shoulder blades scrub along the roller as you take them up overhead and back down by your side. Taking your focus now to your pelvis, checking it's in its neutral position, feels quite balanced and level. Float one leg up to tabletop, a 90-90 position, and feel free to internally and externally rotate that thigh bone, checking that the thigh bone is sinking into the hip socket, and then bringing it back down, and then stand down and float the other leg up to tabletop, and again, internally and externally rotate, check in with the leg and the hip socket. We're then going to move through our 90-90 knee floats, or tabletop legs, standing down into one foot and allowing the other leg to float up with ease. Nice, even, soft, balanced pelvis. Breathing nice and easily, spontaneous breath. Rest the body stays resting on the roller. Having a little check-in. Great. And then from here, we're going to softly curl up into our chest lifts. We're going to interlace our hands back behind our head. Thumbs go down the nape of the neck. We're going to soften the chin to the chest and slide the breastbone and roll the ribs. You don't have to come up very high. It's more about the curve and keeping that heavy head resting back in your hands. Inhale into the back of you and exhale, soften and lay yourself back down. And again, soften chin to chest. Slide the breastbone, roll the ribs. Inhale here, exhale and come back down. And again, soften the chin, slide the breastbone, rolling the ribs back and up behind you. Inhale, exhale, soften. Release the hands down by your side, prepare the feet to move into a bridge, and we stand down into the feet, allow the pelvis to tilt along the roller, the belly button draws back towards the spine as we peel ourselves up into a bridge. Now you'll rest back there in between the shoulder blades onto the roller, and it might be a bit sensitive. So really stand down into your feet. Allow the hips to be buoyant, the bottom ribs to be soft. Inhale here and exhale, soften and lay yourself all the way back down. And again, inhale to prepare. Exhale, soften, stand down into the feet, tilting the pelvis, peel yourself up off the roller. You won't go very high, you're already up off the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, soften and lay yourself all the way back down. Let's do one more like this. Stand down into the feet. Feel that tilt of the pelvis as more pressure comes into the feet. Stand into the big toe side as well, yawning through those inner seams. Inhale, exhale, soften and come back down. The last thing before we move off the roller is to move through our diagonal swing. So we're going to float the right leg up to tabletop and the left arm. And then we're going to gently bring them back down. And as we do and they find the floor and press into it, we can allow opposite arm and leg to pick up. Taking ourselves for a little gentle march here, resting on the roller. Nice easy breath, soft ribs, long neck, relaxed jaw. That's it. Just checking in through your diagonal swings. Good. Noticing how the body is adjusting all these small little micro movements, shakes and wriggles. Really vital as we're keeping the body, the torso, your spine quite still, quite quiet. Whereas normally as it would rotate and twist as you're walking, which just means we're going a little bit deeper to our postural muscles along the spine as they have to take up any extra movement to keep this lovely consistent balance. Then when you're ready, we're going to slide off the roller, push the roller away to the side of us and lay yourself back down on your mat, taking a little moment to absorb that lovely space that you've created, that nice little mini massage that you did for your spine. Feel free to soften the legs or bend them, maybe take a little twist for you if you need it. Maybe even hug the knees in towards the chest. Notice this lovely space you now have from the pelvis all the way up to in between the shoulder blades. And then we're going to come to that point. So we're going to curl around and come up to seated. Grab the roller and we're going to bring it along the mat. That's it. So it's going to cut across the mat. And you're going to come to sit with the roller back behind you. You're then going to lower yourself down to bring it back behind the breastbone, and if you tap your arms a little bit side to side, you should hopefully find the tips of your shoulder blades tapping on the roller. So you're playing around with the positioning, pelvis on the floor, feet in parallel, and again we're going to interlace the hands back behind the head. The thumbs will wrap down the nape of the neck, the elbows will wrap around in your peripheral vision, and you'll soften the heavy head into your hands. And take a little moment now to allow your body to adjust again. Back here in between your shoulder blades, base of your shoulder blades, sort of bra strap area, the body's thinking this roller isn't too comfortable. So we have to take our time to adjust to it. Keeping that chin soft in towards the chest a little bit. We're going to inhale and open up over the roller. So you're moving through the front of you, your facet joints, they're going to fan open. And then exhale, soften, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs and curl up. The heavy head stays in your hands. This relationship between head, elbow, chin and chest doesn't change. You're yawning open through the front of you. Inhale back. Finding your first edge. Your first edge is where you're starting to hold your breath or you want to change your position. You find a bit of feedback or resistance. Inhale and exhale here into that space back behind you that's making contact with the roller. Can you expand the intercostals and the ribs back behind you to push into the roller? And on your next exhalation, slide your breastbone, roll your ribs to curl up. And again, inhale to yawn open back over the roller. Maybe going beyond that first edge, finding a second edge, breathe here. Heavy head, relax feet, relax pelvis. Exhale, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs and curl up and take a peek at your knees. One more time, inhale, yawning open through the facet joints at the front of you. Hanging out there in this next position, this final edge that we're going to explore. And then exhale, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs and curl up and take a peek at your knees. And we're going to wrap those elbows around even more. Stand down into our feet, lift our hips up. And we're wrapping the elbows around to get the shoulder blades wide and away from each other. And then you're just going to roll that inch or two back behind those shoulder blades, in between the shoulder blades, right back behind the breastbone. And you're very welcome to go a little bit higher or a tiny bit lower. Having a good roll out. If you feel comfortable and you've done this before, you can rotate and twist a little bit. I would keep the belly button drawing in, the pelvis tucked a little bit, that big rounded C curve occurring all the way through the body if you can. And like me, you might start to go out the door, so you can shuffle back down, find that position again. And just go for your last little rolling of the rhomboids. They get really tight and sticky, that space in between the shoulder blades. They get very tense. Good for anti-desk, for sure. And then gently allow your pelvis to come back down. Bring the roller back to that position it was, right behind sort of base of the shoulder blades, right behind the breastbone, maybe a little bit lower, bottom of the ribs, and just go for that big yawn back over the roller one more time. Noticing you go past first edge quite easily, second edge quite easily, maybe you find the third one again. Breathe here, heavy head in your hands, elbows wrapping around to keep that heavy head nice and relaxed, long neck. Exhale, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs and curl up. And then gently, if comfortable, wriggle yourself down and allow the roller to come into the nape of your neck. Notice this lovely space back behind your shoulder blades now, where you've just rolled and opened up in between the rhomboids. Allow your arms to come by your side, heavy head on the roller. You may even want to close your eyes here. Feel free to wriggle around, make sure it's right into the nape of the neck. Even the base of the skull, those two occipital points rest back onto the roller. And you can make small micro movements here. So just wriggle the nose around. Allow the head to find a little bit of space to relax the jaw, the shoulders. You may even want to walk the feet wide and allow the knees to knock in towards each other so the back of the pelvis opens. And then we're going to take our focus to our nose and we're just going to nod our head up and down. Just like we do with our pelvis. Very gentle, very small. We're not trying to find end range at all. We're just moving up and down, nice and easy. Head moving on the roller, roller moving underneath the head. Relaxed jaw, heavy tongue, heavy eyes in your sockets. Soft breath, wide shoulder blades. And then from here we can take a little peek right and left. Checking in how it feels as you load down onto one occipital point and then the other. And feel free to stay now on that left diagonal and make tiny circles with your nose. Your body will know which direction to go. It'll prefer one over the other, so stay with that. So pivoting, unraveling on that occipital point. And then softly come back through the center and take a little peek to your right. And again, tiny circles here with your nose. Relaxing the jaw, maybe give it a little wriggle out. And then come back through the center. Feel free to nod or look side to side. Or again, make small micro movements here, figures of 8. Little circles. And then when you're ready, allow the head to become heavy, the body to soften. Collarbones are wide, in between the shoulder blades are nice and massaged out. pelvis is open at the back of you, dropping into the floor. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, gently push the roller away from you, up overhead. Allow your head to soften down onto the mat. Readjust your feet back into a parallel and allow your arms to rest by your side. And just check into how the back of the pelvis, the back of the ribs and the back of the head are now connected to each other. This lovely long alignment, any tension that was held in the neck and the shoulders, in between the shoulder blades and through the whole length of the spine, has been massaged out. That's it. Curling around onto one side and bring yourself up to seated, and you want to check in with that same sensation in a seated position. Cross-legged is usually the preferable. Find your sitting bones, and again just notice how the head is more in connection with the rest of the spine. It's probably back over the body. And we connect to the several domes of the body. So we've got our pelvic floor, our diaphragm, the roof of the mouth, and then the roof of the skull. Aligning them all up over each other to find ease of movement. Shrug out through the shoulders, maybe soften the chin to your chest and allow your gaze to come back up. Well done.